getting close to the end of the tournament, but this doesn't change the fact that you should scan this QR code, get the 1xBet app. I loved the phone on the side there that would show us just how nice the app looks, but this clarity, it kind of, it's soothing.
Every time I see it, I'm like, oh yeah, I should hydrate. So, cheers.
I have to drink water now.
Get some, exactly, get some of that IRL mana into you. Get ready to cast some awesome Dota. This is the one, and we're getting a brawl right off the start.
Look at the Illuminate, a good start. The Cogs as well with the expanded armature. He's gonna be kicking Paulson down to the low ground, and you know, with this kind of a start to a battle, it's very unlikely that we're gonna see any kills unless Bleed. It could be in some trouble. Okay, they're running away. Imagine how powerful you feel like this Timbersaw. Like, you're very small, and then you found this robot, you're running into 5 heroes, and they're all super afraid of you.
Oh yeah, it's a power fantasy, isn't it?
Exactly. Give me a big robot, please.
Is it that guy in the USA who built himself a tank out of a bulldozer because the government wanted him to install a septic tank, and he didn't.
And anyways, they will bring down Paulson, so that's I guess he didn't have anything to protect himself with, so the poor Dark Willow will die. And was it the Clockwork that got the kill? Yep, so not the biggest thing, but a lot of regen in this lane. I'm guessing some mangoes are going to be brought to make sure that you heal the Medusa, and it's time to dodge those cogs. Paulson, very nice movement.
Yep. We're going to see Fortune Soul take it quite easy on the first couple of levels. This is really where Ace has to do most of the work, and then once the Medusa gets to the level 2 Snake, of course, it's going to be decently hard for Zeal to avoid that. Like, you can take distance with the Swash, of course, but you have to do that in time, otherwise the Snake is just going to follow you.
So the Medusa got the Engorged facet, so that is 1 damage per 6 mana restored. For the next 3 attacks when the Snake does return. It actually does help in the lane quite a lot as well, right? Not only in the later portions of the game, but Medusa has been known to do well in lane. As Kishka, he just got a kill on Zed, though Jackie, he doesn't want to allow that to go unpunished. He wants some money for himself, and of course, if our viewers want to use these amazing odds to get money, banner down below, promo code 1XRLGSCA. Get to it now if you haven't, because we are swapping regions fairly soon.
Man, I've been watching the SA qualifiers, and I'm already really hyped for for us returning to that region as well.
Oh, SA, I want to say that SA has been my favorite tournament to cast here in the Regional Dota 2 series. As again, we're having some server issues. Yep, our we are gonna get pushed out here. Yeah, some lines being drawn, but we are out of it. So Kips, we can go with the radio cast.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, nothing big happening just now. Actually, scratch that. We've just got a kill over on the Timbersaw. Kishka has been walking around a little bit, trying to regen up before he came back into the lane. And Jackie and Sage just used that time to lay into the Timber. So that is actually quite an important kill that happened literally as I switched out to check on the other lanes.
Yep, that is a huge one, and this is the thing. Yesterday when we saw 11 play the Timbersaw, he wasn't pushed back anyhow in the laning phase, especially because he was versus a CK. Now you're versus a Gyro. That's the worst possible thing for a Timbersaw, and it's showing in his CS. He died once and he only has 5 CS. He does have 5 denies, which is actually quite impressive.
Yeah, and the levels in this lane do need to keep on coming, because I think the way that you eventually fight your way back into it is you and Kishka. You've killed Say once already. He is extremely vulnerable to all of the damage that you're going to be bringing in. So this Ench needs to die a couple more times, and then hopefully you can supplement yourself that way. But the fight with the Gyrocopter, yeah, you're going to suffer in return.
There's a 1k gold lead now, despite a first blood going to the side of IHC. This goes to show how, in terms of CS, Bleed have been crushing these lanes, and I guess it was to be expected. A little bit maybe overkill with the Spango. I didn't really think Zeal was gonna crush the Medusa this much.
No, I really did not think that was going to happen either. Of course, this is the moment where she's going to actually get better, because this is the level 2 snake. She's level 3 right now. This is where the Medusa lane usually turns, but he's already got so much out of this. And of course, you did predict that the mid lane was going to go this way.
I've been talking with Otomo. He keeps telling me Coddle is a good laner. No, Coddle is a crappy laner versus everybody.
Coddle does not lane.
Yeah, he literally doesn't lane. He's so bad in laning that he doesn't even lane. He just tries to outpush, get maybe 1 or 2 creeps per wave, which is bad. And actually, this Coddle, in my mind, had a great time in the mid lane. I thought it was going to be worse.
Yeah. No, this is pretty decent, but especially for a DK who does not have to carry, he can just always stand in the middle of the wave whenever it gets shoved out by the Illuminate. Does not give a single hoot. Means that he gets to deny literally everything. You don't have to do that game of, you know, play footsie, back out, play coy, and go back in again when the Illuminate is over. You don't have to do that. You just face tank it and you slap every single creep you come across.
Dragonite is approaching level 6, so maybe soon we're gonna be seeing some support rotations towards the mid lane, and there it is. The Dark Willow is already in the vicinity of the mid lane. We'll need to take care of the Watcher to be able to actually make something happen here.
Ace is here as well, though. That's going to leave Ikigai stranded just like that.
It's still dangerous now, especially with the Enchantress coming. Okay, everybody's in the mid lane. Nobody cares about side lanes. Carries, off laners.
Does.
Yeah, literally, just play the mid lane. Kishka in some trouble. That Hurricane pulling him in. And the Wild Wing Ripper is actually a very fast neutral creep. And Kishka, does he have anything to heal? He had the stake charges. That's going to be enough to dissuade the Wild Wing Ripper from diving a tier 2.
It's one of the reasons why I keep thinking that the Wild Wing Ripper has like a speed aura when it doesn't. It's the toughness, the extra armor.
Usually the flying units in Dota are very slow, but when you have a walking unit with wings, those are actually quite fast.
You know what? You're right. We're looking at one right now.
Yeah, Coddle has wings. He's
the Coddle,
super. Yeah, he's super fast.
Sorry, not literally right now. Excuse me. Emo is slow. No, actually, Terrorblade. Terrorblade is slow as hell.
Well,
he shuffles everywhere.
It's better than what he used to be. Oh, there's gonna be rotation from Ikigai. Does have the solar bind. That's the fastest that he went for, and the sun will burn Cell. Let's see if he's gonna be burning as much as they want. He will get taken down, but it takes some time. Was the Urn finished? Yes, it was. So in general, a pretty solid win for IHC.
Yeah, the kill that they needed to get on the lane where they needed to get it. Supplement 11 back up. He gets a little boost from one of those Urn charges as well. And the Kotal can go back into mid and bother Emo. Yeah, he does very much need to DP out.
Yep, that was a dangerous situation for a Dragonite, but he got the mid lane tower very, very low. Next rotation of the Coddle is gonna cost him the mid lane tower, and then Pango, DK, plus the Dark Willow. That's gonna be hard. This does leave 11 all on his lonesome. The homing missile. What a good timber chain just over that little river there. I don't think the disruption was really necessary, but used anyways.
Yeah, and we still need to invent a name for that. You brought it up yesterday, and I agree. I think it's unacceptable that it doesn't have a name yet. Like, the waterfall is to the left, but the problem is that this little square here, yeah, exactly, that's not quite the waterfall.
Huddle?
Yeah, Huddle. This is a little prosaic, isn't it?
Yeah, okay, so this is something that's gonna be keeping me up at night, Kips, but maybe. You know what, we can ask ChatGPT. I think that's the answer to everything nowadays. You don't know a question, ask ChatGPT. You need to send a message, a loving message to your girlfriend, ask ChatGPT.
You have no creativity, don't bother even trying. Just tell the AI to make something for you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Let's see. Sometimes I think AI is at its best when it actually doesn't quite know what it's doing, so you can clearly see that it's bullshitting, and then the best stuff comes out. And I do think that is the. So you just tell it like all these parts of the Dota map have names, and then you ask them to tell tell you the name and it's gonna make shit up and it's gonna be good.
We'll get on that as Se getting some rainbows here on Kishka. Blood Grade as well. This is dangerous for him, especially with Emo coming over, burning him down. And once the Dragon Tail connects, that's when you need maybe 1 or 2 hits. Actually, he loses the Dragon form. Is this enough for Kishka to run away? Having another Blood Grade will make sure that's not the case. 11 with a Twisted Chakra will get pushed away as well with the Homing Missile connecting. And his tower will be taking a massive amount of damage there with the Dark Troll Summoner. We talked about it, just how efficient the pushing would be. And there it is.
Yep, and you'd think that a lineup with a Kotal and a Timbersaw can keep people off those towers, but you need to be there early, and you don't have any disables for the chase.
Well, that's gonna be a cog push. He actually pushed that cog twice, says there will be a Timber Chain plus a Chakram at the end. Have the Slower Bind. They will allow the Illuminate to give the kill to Ikigai as he did rotate. Next on the menu could be Se. Pretty speedy on the Enchantress and just prances on away.
And now you really do need to take this tower in return, otherwise you're never going to get another attempt at it. This wave is always going to get shoved out, so...
Now we're never
obligated
but there's
to
no
stick around with
creep.
4.
And they suck at pushing Kips, to be honest.
Yeah,
so this is gonna take a lot of time.
It's garbage, but they have to, and that's exactly why Bleed's coming back in. They know.
They know that the enemies have to do this. The Curse Crown as well. They have the Dragon Tail. Disruption onto the Dragon Knight himself doesn't save 11 from any of the stuns. And you know what? The Pango isn't even rotating. He's just staying on the bottom lane, winning versus the Medusa on his own. So maybe the Clockwork can do something to him. Rolling Thunder, no. Zeal will be fine. He can actually TP away if he wants to, or just be super annoying to the enemies. The TP in from the Dark Willow. Help is coming. They think they can fight it. He enters the cogs. It's expanded armature. Not something that the Pango is really scared of. He actually thrives in that situation, and they finish off the Clockwork themselves. This might be the last tier 1 on the map.
IHC is not gonna let him.
They can't let them. Zeal going for a TP out, Illuminate. It needs to go through and it's gonna be late. Bleed. They're just outplaying IHC on every level. They're playing some really cool Dota. Miss Paulson, well, he's gonna be left behind. Somebody has to pay the price inside of the Shadow Realm. Healing up a bit. You're not gonna get healed through all of this AoE damage that's coming your way.
Yep. And if this was any other time in the game, say if you still had towers left to push on the top side, the fact that there were 2 TPs coming in from both of the heroes with the damage, with the deep push to that bottom side, Bleed would have just gone ahead and taken more space on the other side of the map still. I don't want to say that IHC is lucky that the entire chain of events is over, but certainly...
Oh, that's the Spirit Vessel. They stopped the Timber Chain with a War Stomp. Why are they doing everything perfectly? Sometimes I start feeling bad about the teams when this is how it goes.
Yeah, no, you had it a couple of days earlier as well when Team Tough was... it was just yesterday. Team Tough was... clowning on IHC in the first map.
Oh, let's see. The Coddle could get caught here. This is dangerous. He did TP out, so he's gonna be fine. Ikigai has those Boots of Travels, but the last tier 1 is gone, and you don't really have much to push with this Medusa. Fortune Soul is gonna have to join in a little bit earlier than you would want to, and I really don't know if he's gonna be able to help all that much.
I don't know either, and the fact that he's not going to join in means that, you know what, I was talking about Diffu for this Pangolier, but he can wait if he wants to. The Urn into Spirit Vessel build is what I've been seeing from the offlane Pangos mostly here, and this is really what allows Zeal right now to be a damage threat to the Timbersaw, which is a problem for 11. And Timber is the one who's going to be fighting here. Well, inch bites dust.
That's actually a good kill, right? Because if you look at the end, she's quite close to the Timbersaw in terms of net worth. So you're getting a solid kill, but nothing. Yeah. Nothing on the map really.
No, you know she's overfarmed. You know that 11 is underfarmed. If you're playing the game like this as a team, you've got the feeling that the graph looks like this, but you'd really rather not think about it.
Yep, you can ignore your problems, sweep them under the rug.
They got Fortune Soul caught on top.
That's huge. And the Terrorize connects. He does have 21 charges that he will never get used. 21 charges and 2 mangoes. Could have actually lived for a very long period of time if he used it. That's a nice double jump from Zeal. But Swashbuckle away. As you mentioned, very low range on that one. But more than enough to actually live through the chase of the enemies.
And it's kind of odd because I regard positioning and like physical distance between objects and things to be the defining feature of Dota 2 in the end. Like positioning can make or break anything. And I was sure that the distance of Swashbuckle being so low now would finally be the end of Pangolier. I was 100% convinced. The same as that I'm convinced that the full bore on Snapfire is actually ridiculously imba because she's balanced around her short ranges and now she doesn't have a short range anymore. But we're not seeing Pango fall off just yet, and we're not seeing Snapfire run into the meta just yet. So I'm a little confused.
Her time will come, right? And I know she's old, and that's not what I meant, Kips. So, anyways, there's gonna be a
she's
slow
moseying on over.
Oh, that impetus, if it had connected, that would be a dead clockwork. Yeah. But he TP's out just in the nick of time.
And these are the kinds of little like skirmishes that you'd like to have if you're IHC. Just yes, contact between the heroes, hopefully information on who's where, but your hero gets out safely, and it is something for the enemy to respond to. That's what you're hoping for. This clockwork has a day and a night job, I think, doing that.
Yeah, the gyro is approaching his ags, so he is farming pretty well, but I mean, I actually have done a good job stopping the bleeding, or stopping Bleed Esports, and they have gotten their cores a little bit higher in the network department. Yeah, there's some blood. Yeah,
I'm gonna disagree with you here. This is simply a consequence of Bleed taking all the tier 1 towers this early. Teams that start running after more kills once they take down the first 3 towers fall on their faces more often than not because you cannot control all of that territory yet. Hookshot misses.
Teal is fine. Oh, Iski though, rolling thunder, he can't get it off because of these cogs. Ace doing a really good job now. Emo could be in some trouble as well, not with the rest of his team coming to help. Said this time around his impetuses will get the kill and the connection. No TP's out. Look at the other side. Paulson is waiting for you. A cursed crown 11. He doesn't want to be a princess, and he'll be taken out. Emo finishes him off. Dragon Tail, nope, off the not off cooldown, though, chasing down for Kishka. He gets the hit in, still with the disruption. It is gonna be creating some space for him. Dark Willow was still losing some HP there. Does survive in the end.
Yeah, and this is exactly an illustration of what I mean, right? You can move up into that territory now as the Pangolier, for example, because you have a decent escape. You can put some distance in there. And you're lucky that IHC doesn't really have the disables to stop you from walking closer to your tower. But any kind of go that you make on this side of the map means that your TPs are going to take a long time to come in, and theirs are going to be very fast. Unless, of course, they don't have disables, they chase you all the way to your tower and you just get to put the rainbow out.
Well, it's... I mean, you talked about the tier 1s dropping, but when are IHC gonna be able to go for those towers? Is the Medusa Manta maybe a good enough of a item for Fortune Soul to help in that department?
Manta? I'm not sure, especially not since you're most likely always going to lose one of your illusions to that Enchantress. So you get one illu. And there's so much AoE damage over on Bleed as well, so maybe like this? Bleed, now Bleed are for sure going to respond to this.
How did he miss the Timber Chain? There will be a disruption to save him. Zeal goes into the backlines, but there's nowhere that this Timber Saw can go. Dies to the double jump. Emo, a little bit of trouble. Demonic Purge gets him low. Snake as well. He will survive. Terrorize will be perfect there. It will scare them, and it should, because this is a scary situation for IHC. In the moment, Kishka will just be dying to say on the other side, as Zeal still chasing forward. Nice blinding light to keep some distance, allowing the Coddle to survive. His movement speed really is the only reason why he's still breathing.
I mean, that's the name of the game for Kottles, I suppose. And yeah, if you're IHC, you kind of know that that was going to happen if you went for the play here. You're hoping to get an opening kill, but you can also see by their positioning that they're really just there to use the Medusa to take the tower down, and the rest of the cores are just to allow her to slap that building around until it's gone, and then they, you know, run for your lives, save yourselves.
Medusa's
So
going for
it's-
a butterfly. Is this a butterfly kind of game?
And she's not wrong that most of the damage that's going to come in is physical, but I don't know. But then again, like, think about it, Harry. What item right now could she buy with the next 4k gold that you would say, okay, this is going to change the game. This is the one that you do need to have.
Yeah, you might be right. The item that gives you the most farm is the butterflies. He'll roll up, rolling thunder. He had the shard. He knows he's up against the clockwork, and he does put the spirit vessel on 11. And then Jackie can kill him, no problem. Kishka with the demonic purge, slowing down the gyro. He's not slowing down the rest of bleed. Going for more. They want the Medusa as well, but it's only Yule Scepter onto the illusion, running away there with the Stone Gaze, extra movement speed. Fortune Soul gets to a safe spot. They're not killing cores, but they're increasing their lead to insurmountable heights.
They are, yes, and part of that is just simply because IHC is trying to move forward, trying to make plays on their timing of that Manta style. This is why I was unsure if they were actually going to do that, because I just don't think that the Manta is enough. Medusa too hesitant to walk into those fights and to actually position herself in a place where the Stone Gaze can save any teammates.
Pango in a very aggressive position. With the roll-up, he really doesn't care, right? If you have a Rolling Thunder and the roll-up, the other side cannot kill you. It's just how it works. Maybe a Stone Gaze stops you, but very unlikely.
Very unlikely. Yeah, you'd need perfect hookshot into Cog's pushes.
And it's so hard to do with the expanded armature.
It is. You really gotta finesse that stuff. I've seen Ace do well, but really all the pressure is on him here. He's the sole supplier of disables on this squad.
I don't know how they thought this was gonna work, and we talked about it in the draft. If you start losing with a lineup like this, there's very low chances of you having a play to come back. Your only plays, our enemies are overdive, our Medusa is gonna get super strong and she's gonna win the game, and that is not a good thing to rely on in Dota, really.
That might be a game plan, but it's not a play for sure. So the thing that IHC have been doing well is they have decided that they need to take these towers down no matter what. They were never going to contest this Roshan, so getting the top tower in trade is pretty decent for them.
That's quite good, quite good. It doesn't change the fact that the 3 cores of bleed are topping the network chart, that they have the Aegis and now are gonna be focusing on the tier 2s. We saw in the first 11 minutes how the 3 tier 1s fell, and I think Bleed Esports are gonna be doing the same thing in the next couple of minutes for the tier 2s as well.
They're gonna try at the very least. There is a big difference though. There's going to be split pushing from both the Timbersaw with a Blink as well as a Kotl with Boots of Travels and a BKB, so it is possible that this is going to take quite a bit longer as you chase those waves and those heroes down. Unless you...
They take down the bottom tier 2 easily, so... It has started.
I mean, you can't really cut on bottom with all of the towers still up, and I was wondering if Bleed was gonna say, nah, we don't actually care, we're gonna ring your doorbell on the bot lane first, so that you have to come home, and then we're gonna start shoving out the rest of these waves.
Oh, Kishka is so good. He will dodge the brambles, and I mean his movements there in spell usage, he did as much as he could. It's just not nearly good enough.
No, at this stage of the game, you're lost. Resign
look
yourself.
at the Kotl. He is being a bit cheeky and decides it's time to run away. This will save 2 waves on the top lane, so Bleed in a good position. 11 also wants to cut a wave. That's dangerous for him. Okay, decides against it. What? Who stole? Oh, they stole it with the Illuminate. Nice.
Okay. Respect. No, and here this is this is good play from Bleed as well. They know that the play that IHC has right now is to actually cut these waves, so they did send the Dark Willow with that wave, making sure that the Kotl would not be taking any out behind their backs. I think that's in general one of the big differences I've seen between the top two teams here. Team Tough does it from time to time as well, but like this anticipation play where, you know, okay, we squeeze the map so much that the enemy only has one play and we anticipate that one play. As opposed to pulling a surprise Pikachu face when the enemy does the one thing that they can do.
This is a surprise for sure as Dark Willow goes into the Shadow Realm. Actually, Gyro's taking a lot of damage, but he does have an Aegis still, so that's going to be a problem. 11 has been isolated and will be the first one to fall in this engagement. It is a 3 versus 5 where you kill an enemy core and just move away. Plus, you force out the BKB on the Coddle.
Good enough if you're Blade and you still maintain that Aegis for the eventual push on the mid tier 2. Yeah, only 2 minutes left on it. Don't think Jackie's going to end up going high ground with this one.
Yeah, probably not. You are probably looking to get the last outer tower, the one in the mid lane. It is not easy versus the Coddle, but the waves are coming, so Bleed should be capable of doing it in the next minute and a half.
But we are starting to see some signs of life from Fortune Soul, which is, I think, the one thing. The Butterfly really did help him in that engage versus the Gyrocopter. Gyro barely did any damage to Fortune Soul, while Fortune Soul took him down to half health, so...
Is it Daedalus time?
Honestly, yeah, I think so.
The
You're
other
really
thing that
not
comes to
going
mind
to-
is a Skadi, but it's not
Yeah,
going to be
I've
enough
been-
damage.
I've been thinking about the Skadi as well, exactly, but the problem is here that the rest of your cores are all magic. Oh man, and that Halberd coming in from Emo. I love that pickup, that's phenomenal.
They understand now the entirety of the game revolves around stopping this Medusa from killing all of you, and this is the way to go. You get some halberds, you get some Yule Scepters, and suddenly the Medusa cannot hit anybody.
Oh,
Slowly but surely the tower is falling, and they're all in the base. 11 is the only one outside of it. And look at the Dark Willow, she's already hunting. It's so hard to play this game at the moment. I don't know how Dota Plus is giving 23% to IHC. The game is so tough. I know that you need to play it clean if you're Bleed, but you just need to not be impatient.
yeah, that's really... like, kills like this will continue to happen because these two other cores of the side of IHC will continue to look for farm outside of the base and will look to continue cutting waves. That said, you're getting punished for showing all those heroes right now.
Yeah, there's the Stone Gaze coming in handy versus the Pango Ace. However, look at the damage from Zed. The disruption will save him for the time being, but Emo, he does find Kishka as well. Nice blinding
those
light
cogs.
to save their supports as well with the cogs, pushing them back. So in the end, it's going to be a 1-for-1 across the map, which is quite okay for the Radiant side.
Right, that's the best fight I think we've seen them have in like ever. Absolutely. You'll take that any day of the week. Unfortunately, of course,
sure.
your mid-tier one did go down in the process as well. We have a Kotl, split pushing some more. And here also, like, this is the example why IHC was so desperate to take down those tier 1 towers. Because on the bot side right now, the Kotl can't really do anything about these waves without teleports coming in immediately.
And here it is, the Dark Willow is again chasing, has the ult set up for the Bramble. Of course, a BKB is going to be something that would save the Coddle, and that Watcher being taken, that is a place where Coddle can make a mistake and get caught. Nope,
Yeah.
he's out.
If he wants to get too cheeky about it. You can see that especially on the bot side, the Watchers as well as the Ward are really set up to look for wave cutters.
Se has a Hurricane Pike, so this Enchantress is starting to pack a punch, and Medusa, sure, the Butterfly helps her, but the rest of the pack, once they start getting sproinked by the Enchantress, it's gonna be a problem.
Especially the Kotl. And Medusa making good pace towards that Daedalus. I'm running into Jackie here. supports
Yes,
dying
you-
on the side lane. What can you do?
You have to give something away. There's no chance that somebody's
Yes.
not gonna lose their life. And it's better to get hate onto your supports. But if both of them die at the same time, it's gonna be a problem. Ace, he does have a jetpack to get into his base. Let's see if that's gonna be enough for him to survive. Seems to be. Even the homing missile connecting at this point, he's in a safe position.
Solid escape from him. And honestly, Ace has been... He has been doing so much work in this game with so little net worth. That's... I think that snipe on the Tormentor genuinely bought IHC like 5 minutes in this game.
I actually think it was
Unbelievable.
Ikigai that sniped it. The Ace gave him vision, and then it was the Illuminate
Yeah.
blast that actually
was the
killed it.
Illuminate.
Yeah. But sure, he got
And
the
then the-
shard. If he didn't have the shard, he would be dead now.
Yep, and he would have been dead previously as well. And there's going to be another scenario in the future where he's going to be even more annoying because he has that shard. And he would have never been able to buy that himself in a million years.
Yeah, because he's poor as hell, or at least in terms of earned money. You know, the stolen one did put him in an okay position support wise.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Bleed fishing and coming up empty for now. And they know that they can't just walk high ground into this Medusa, especially not without an Aegis. So right now all they're hoping for is keep the pressure up, wait until IHC makes the kind of mistake where they have to spend a buyback or where they lose a core without a buyback perhaps. That would give you an opportunity. And of course you do need to keep on squeezing it well. That's the other thing. They're not just looking for opportunities to extend their lead or to go for that high ground, but they're also simply, they need to be positioned forward and not give IHC too much room to breathe. Because this Medusa is gonna hit level 20 now.
Getting scary, for sure. You hit level 20, you get the Skadi, and then you're at that point where if the Medusa gets the rapier, you might actually lose the game. Just straight up lose. You might not be capable of dealing with her. Of course, you're gonna be getting those multiple halberds, the Wind Wakers, a lot of the items to control her. But when you get to a point with the Medusa where you just need a couple of hits and everybody else is just behind you healing you, it's gonna turn into a problem.
It is, yes. And you do have a perfect setup for that with a Kotl behind you.
For sure. Constantly refreshing the mana of the Medusa is a big deal.
Yep. Regular heals and mana heals for days. There's a reason why this is let's say a modern classic.
Radiant are scanning.
Well, that's a smoke. Are they actually gonna steal this Roche? That's the question. Medusa actually does pack a punch with the data list. This is something that Bleed Esports should never allow to happen.
No, they should not. I mean, they're wasting too much time, I think, right here. IHC, you're off map right now. No, they were not going
They
to
got
take
scanned.
the Roshan. They were gonna... Oh, they got scanned and now they go for it.
How
I
fast
think
did
they
kill
were
it?
waiting to ambush the enemies. That is a lot of damage, I gotta say.
They got it, actually, because Bleed, they don't care. The Kotl is
No.
alone in the base defending, and you're just letting this one go, dealing with the Medusa twice? Is that really what you want to do, just for some damage on a tier 3?
Yeah, I mean, I think that if you're IHC, you're completely fine with losing a Rax for this as well. Whatever, you have so much outpush. One more wave being in a little more. Nah, who cares? This
They
Aegis?
will lose their axe for it.
Well,
Jackie,
whatever.
slow down. Look at that. The Solar Bind and the Demonic Purge. It's super annoying. Pops the Satanic to remove it and get away.
Yeah.
The Dark Willow
now
is
you're-
going for a Midas, Skips.
Yeah, they know they missed a window here. Very, very businesslike. It's like, okay, fine. We're gonna need more damage later on. And to be fair, like a Willow, depending on what you want to do with this money, you can turn yourself into a right-click core. That is something you can do. You can also save up for some really high-tier int items. We're thinking about the Wind Waker and the Hex here, of course. There's a lot of different ways that you can go with this Midas, but what's for sure is that Bleeders realize that they're gonna need a bit more scaling now.
The thing with the Dark Willow, though, she doesn't have the level 25 talent with the attack speed any longer. I mean, the Midas does give you a lot of attack speed, but it's not nearly as much as 150 that the Dark Willow used to have.
No, it really is not. Which makes me wonder if we're going to be seeing mostly that Midas investment go into the int items instead.
That would be cool to see a Hex, Wind Waker, you know, something along those lines. That's probably a pretty decent one. I mean, if you... level 25 on support is super far away, but the level 25 talents of the Dark Willow nowadays are actually pretty powerful. 2 Bedlam attacks. It's... It just rips people apart.
Is pretty insane. Here? Hook shot. They got Pelosin.
He will be able to blink away. The Timber is coming and actually brought him down. Oh no, he blinked. What are we gonna do? Zeal, nice blink away. He is gonna be put in a safe position, and AC will get finished. Look at the other side, Bleed. They want to fight. They found the Shadow Demon, nothing to remove the signs, but they will heal him enough for him to survive the soul burn. No, he will actually take out his... Look at the impetus. His Ace is next on the menu, and he should take out the Manta Illusions, killing him. He also found the Medusa, not allowing her to move, and bringing her down the second time as well. As Ikigai hiding in the trees, hoping that the Dragon Tail will not connect. Emo, just a fraction of a second too late.
And listen, I was all for posturing aggressively with it Aegis and seeing if Bleed would just back off, but it's a bluff. You know it's a bluff. You're still so far behind, and sure, your Medusa is strong, but your enemy has a lot of mobility and a lot of ways that they can work around you, and you can see that there where they pick off the supports behind. Bleed wasn't born yesterday. They're not going to fight straight to the front, and now you don't have that Aegis in your pocket anymore, and you suffered another pretty big defeat.
And you might have to buy back. This is a problem as well. Let's see if they're gonna push it on Bleed. Well, they're pushing it quite a lot. Solar Bind on Zeal. The tier 3 almost dead. The amount of damage these two do together now is kind of insane.
It is pretty huge, yes. Emo hasn't had to be super busy this game, so has had plenty of time to farm up things like the Manta style, which has secured his farm into the late game, and we do have some pretty solid presence out of the DK right now.
At least they need to buy back, and this time around they're gonna steal the Tormentor the right way. Also, Sproing on said that's gonna be a pretty big shard considering his current state in this game.
Exactly, this is gonna hurt. This is gonna hurt quite a lot, and the Medusa now, yeah, that's a BKB purchase. Fortune Soul learning from those 2 previous deaths that there's actually a lot of disables on Bleed, and they can focus him down at will, because the rest of your team doesn't have a way to interrupt the enemy. All you have is damage. As long as they're willing to tank that over on Bleed, then they can do to you whatever else they want.
They're still gonna kite him so much. I'm looking at the rest of his team. None of them can live more than 5 seconds of the damage of the gyro. Like, what 5 seconds? 2 seconds. He has the MKB and the Daedalus. He's so stacked. His BKB is at 8 seconds. The only time he used the BKB was there in the mid lane where they fought 3 versus 5. It really goes to show how powerful Jackie is. You didn't slow him down, not even one bit.
Oh, absolutely not. In general, IHC haven't... Well... They've pushed towers, because towers are not going to walk anywhere. You don't need disables to make them stand still.
And so you know what the funny thing is? The Dragonite is more farmed than him. Zeal gonna be going forward. They found the Medusa, nice disruption to keep her safe. Terrorize still available. Paulson wants to go for it. Fortune Soul, he did use the ulti, but he's still taking so much damage. Has that BKB, will allow himself to live. Buyback from the Clockwork to help 11. In the fight. And look at the impetus. It's just a huge damage. You have 4 cores on Bleed, actually.
Yeah, never mind that the Will wanted to be the 5th, I guess.
What a kill on a Coddle. Emo, no hesitation whatsoever. Finding a kill, doesn't have the BKB, so he might have put himself in a bad position. Nope, he's just very close to his source of food, which is currently IHC.
Not bad, IHC here. These are the last dying breaths of a solid attempt. You can see once again, this is what I talk about when you know that the basics of a team are correct. IHC is making the plays that are necessary to lengthen this game, throwing the supports down the lanes, getting some towers at a decent gold cost, but necessary to buy more time, slow the game down to a point where we actually get, you know, an Aegis taken by this Medusa and a brief glimmer of hope. But that's all it is.
Yeah, a brief glimmer of hope. Literally, it was 38 minutes mostly of Bleed Esports crushing IHC. I don't think there was a single point in the game after minute 1 where IHC were ahead in gold. Bleed, they won the laning stage. They continued to increase their lead, and ultimately they brought the game to a finish. Though that is exactly what happened to IHC yesterday, and then they won game 2, Kip. So it could happen, but with this loss, they have put themselves in a position where they will most likely not be going into the playoffs.
Yep, and now the match that is remaining is the one that it mostly matters to Bleed. Of course, IHC, I do like to think that between the fact that they are just committed to playing every game